everybody, and today is June 3rd, 2025. Today was an awesome trading day in the markets, and I want to take a few minutes now and do a training video so you can see what's kind of behind the training at NMKL Trader. This video, when I'm done, is going to be put in the training room in the Discord channel, and it is also going to be out there for people to view it on the YouTube channel. Now, this is not rocket science, but what I want to help you understand is that based on today's trading session, we had a uptrend market for the most part, but what I want to do is just really kind of talk to you about something. Nate, how do I, there's a question that's going to come up. Nate, how do I trade the market trend system when the market's choppy or when the market is sideways? And that's what I want to take a few minutes here real quick and just share with you, because this is really crucial. What I want to do in this video is take you from being able to make 80% win rate or achieve a 80% win rate, and now by adding a few recommendations that I'll have, increasing that to 85 or 90%. How does that sound? Does that make it even sound even more better or even greater? Well, of course it does, because that means as you increase that chance towards 100%, which you'll never achieve, once you get to 100%, or the closer you get to it, the less opportunity of losing any cash is. What we're trying to simply teach you how to do in trading markets is risk management. That is the name of the game is risk management. All right. So this is key. Basically, if you're going to coin this video or give it a name, I'm going to call it "How to Eliminate False Signals" and how to eliminate trading into support and resistance areas. Okay, or supply and demand zones, whatever you want to call them. Now, today was phenomenal, but I want to talk about one little area over here where you could have gotten in trouble. All right. Now, before I get to this point, I'm going to give you my basic rules for when I usually trade. Okay. I usually don't trade the first 45 minutes of the market. 7:15, I put a line there, and I try to abide by that, unless I see right here, and I'll share with you this in a little bit, a potential awesome trade. Okay. I showed a live trade this morning that was before this, but I already knew the market was going to go up based on some historical news and some fundamental analysis that I did overnight. That's a much higher level, but let's stick to the facts here, or the easy stuff. Okay, don't trade the first 45 minutes of the market, and don't trade after 12:30 on the Pacific Coast, 3:30 on the East Coast. Okay, now those two lines will keep you out of a lot of craziness. The reason is market manipulation happens during this first start of the market. A lot of announcements are made there, so on and so forth. So it's very crucial that you understand this is the time when there's a lot of volatility, but back and forth. All right, until the market really defines its trend for the day. Okay. Also, with that, the other thing I want you to do that will help you eliminate crazy trading is know when the announcements are coming out. Get over here to investing.com, take a look and see what flag is going to affect your trading session, and are there any 3-star announcements coming out? All right. Of course, today we had this one. It was positive, and the market continued to trend up. This came out at 7 o'clock out here. Wait a minute. What do I got this set for? Let me just take a quick gander here, folks. 4 GMT. Okay, 10 o'clock here was 7 o'clock on the, 10 o'clock on the East Coast was 7 o'clock here on the Pacific Coast. So this was a 7 o'clock announcement, came out positive. and I knew it was clear to trade. Okay, but you also have to look at your announcements. I don't want to be trading based on news. News trading gets more people in trouble than not. Okay, unless you plan on having these windfall type trading strategies, which I don't agree with. They're just too risky. Okay, let's get back over here to the chart and let's see how we could have traded this today. All right, let's continue with our how do we eliminate false signals and how do we escape trapping or trading into support and resistance areas. All right, so one way that you can identify support or resistance areas is simply go back and look at market structure. Now, I want to talk about this zone here in particular real quick. Okay, and the reason I say that is you can ask the question, Nate, well, you got this little bitty thing down here. How do I avoid this? All right, well, that's a good question. Let me delete that one. Grab the right tool here. Let me go over here and just put a line through this candle. You know, when they agree, remember I said take the buy or sell. That's true. But I also said you can only win 80% of the time. About 80% of the time. All right. Now, what I want you to do, let me move this over to the right candle. What I want you to do is look back and see what happened. Okay, when we got the flip down here or the agreement. We had this thing just continue down. We finally got the flip. But what I want you to do is look at this candle right here, two previous to the mark. Okay, you see that there's a long wick on it. Now what I want you to do is see that long wick and it went below it. Get you a trend line and let's go back and see if at any point there was some kind of support or resistance. Oh wow. Okay, so number one, that will help you to not trade into resistance in this case. Actually, in this case, support. Because here's what happens. All right. Now, market came down, stalled, retested, and then it just went back up. All right, so this would have been a false signal. Make sure you're not trading into resistance. Take a look at the area. Now, if price would have continued to break down after this point, below the yellow line, then of course, I would have got into a trade there because I know there's a bunch of room between this point down here coming across and this point here. That's about a $500 trade there. Okay, once it broke down past the yellow line that I just drew here, the support line. All right, I call it support because it becomes support here. Now, this trade here, of course, is valid, all right, because you're headed back up. All right, so that is one thing you can do. All right, the other thing you can do, the other tool that we provide you is the market trend levels. Now, I want to talk about the market trend levels for just a second. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put them on here. But before we get too far into it, I'm going to show you the settings real quick. But we always go back here to market open from the day before. All right, now I want you to see this white line here. This is what we call the zero line or the agreement line. Okay, and what that is that's the price at market open. Very significant. A lot of times the market will use it as a retest point. Okay, or it will break through it. So it's a support and resistance area. The other two lines I want to introduce you to are the white lines that I have here. Okay, and the white lines are this is yesterday's high. Okay, and down here the white lines coming into today's session is yesterday's low. All right. Now, the other line is these two yellow lines here coming into today's session. And today's session started yesterday at 3 p.m. here on the West Coast, 5 p.m. on the East Coast. All right, these two yellow lines mark the overnight session high and low. So what I like to do is come in here to the beginning of the New York session and just keep an eye on where they're at and what happens once market opens. Okay, these are good to know. Now, of course, the overnight low, the overnight session low for the Asian session, European session, and yesterday's low way down here had no bearings on today's market. But in a lot of cases, when you have a bearish day, they could. Okay, so here we have a move to the upside. All right, remember, I don't trade the first 45 minutes of the market, but price comes in, goes down, and then I get a buy right here. Price comes back and retests the midline there, okay, or the zero line, or the settlement price from yesterday. Retests it, takes off, comes back and retests yesterday's high, all right, and then takes off again. This here is your first real legitimate buy to achieving 85 to 90%. Okay, now of course you're going to see these yellow lines increase and set new support and resistance areas as the market trends up. That is true, but they're not major. Okay, what I shared with you at the beginning, yesterday's high and low, and then the overnight sessions high and low are significant. Okay, and then that other yellow line where price just basically came back down and bounced, that support area was also significant right here. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of share with you how you can avoid not trading into support and resistance zones, because if you're not very clear, not very close to it, then what's the purpose? All right, another thing I want to share with you real quick that you can use for a rule is if you have a sideways market, like let's say you get this sell here and it went across all the way, let's say this way to the right, and kept staying at a steady price, after about 10 to 20 candles, I would invalidate that signal. Even if it agreed down here, I would invalidate it, just because I want to stay with, I'll take the next signal and see what it looks like. Okay, now again, this video and this training that I just put together is meant to help you increase from about 80% win rate when you get an agreement of the macro micro trend. Now I'm trying to help you increase based on trading knowledge and how the market works, to increasing it to 85 and possibly 90%. Okay, this can be also a game changer for your trading experience here at NMKL Trader. So please watch this video, go back and rewatch it, and put these ideas that I'm sharing with you in your head to help you become a better trader. Okay, don't spend too much time trying to analyze this, but just enough that you get it. Okay, this is Nate at NMKL Trader. I hope this has been a beneficial video on how to eliminate signals, false signals, and possibly keep yourself from trading into support and resistance areas or supply and demand zones. All right, y'all have a great day, and I'll see you in the trade room. Take care.